Welcome to the Lucidus podcast, where I explore everything because I believe everything is connected to everything else. And here I am. See this embodied presence. That is the whole lesson of today. Why am I going to do this? Because when I had a session with a new therapist last night, and I was telling him, like, this is really important to me. This embodied presence. Like, it's something we really worked hard on through the whole rape trial, and I feel called to continue working on. I feel like it's a really important part of being a human being. And his response was just like so startling, where he said, I've never heard this term before, and I've never read about it in any book or anything like that. So I don't know what you're talking about. It was like, that totally caught me off guard, because I'm like, okay, but you're a human being. You have a body and you have presence. Like, these aren't tricky words. Like, and this is something that has become, I think when I first heard the words in my head, something in me was like, embodied presence. You have to have embodied presence to get through this rape trial. I was like, of course, I know exactly what that is, but I just can't do it. Like, it's just so hard. It's so hard to stay embodied and present when you're dealing with trauma. It's hard to stay embodied and present, period. Period. And I said that I actually said that to the therapist last night. I was like, it's hard for anybody to stay embodied and present, but especially when you're dealing with like some severe trauma or tragedy, or those triggered states, then it's just almost insanely difficult to do this. Okay, so a few weeks ago, when I was frustrated with a different therapist, the other one, I was like, I don't understand why he can't just do what I ask, which is literally just as I'm speaking, to interrupt me and say, what are you feeling in your body? What is where, like, anything, just bring me back into the presence of my body, embodied presence in my body. And I was like, maybe he just like doesn't know what to ask, or he can't remember. So maybe he needs like cue cards or something. So I sat down one night and I made this cute little like homemade envelope, and it says embodied presence. I don't know if you can see it. And then I was just like, I don't know. I'll just make up some things. Like, the thing is I don't care what the question is. Just anything that snaps me back into my body in the present moment. So I am present in my body. I am present and in my body, embodied presence. So these are some questions I'm going to share with you. So I've been doing them myself, and maybe that's just the fucking way I'll have to do it, but I don't believe that. I think there's somebody that can help me. So these are some of the questions. I would say, how is your body feeling? That's a question you could ask yourself. I am, obviously this is not my forte, so give me a second while I try to tilt this so you can see these. Oh, if you're not watching this on video, then the first question is, how is your body feeling? And it's on this cute pink paper. So close your eyes if you can. How is your body feeling? And here's another one. How old is your body right now? That's on a cute yellow piece of paper. How old are you right now? Where is your body? In space? Where is your body in space? Where is your body in time? That was on a light blue paper. Can you identify a new sensation in your body? Can you identify a new sensation in your body? That one's on a pretty orange paper. What does your body need right now? That's on a nice lime green paper. What is your body saying? What is your body saying? That's on a like a periwinkle blue paper. So these are just some quick questions that I created a few weeks ago, and I've used them a few times now, and it's been fascinating the answers that my body gives me. I never even really considered asking myself these questions. So these aren't. I hadn't been doing this. I had just been, practicing. For me, it was just enough to just be in my body, just to try to breathe and feel what I was feeling. But I've done it long enough now that now I can become more attuned, more sensitive, more, a little more focused, more, like acutely aware. I can fine tune things. I can listen more deeply. I can listen, so when I ask myself these questions, it drops me into these places that I didn't really even know were inside of me. And as I've said before, I feel like the whole universe is inside of us. Which was interesting yesterday when the therapist said was, you need to not so much introspection. And I'm like, this isn't introspection. Like I'm literally diving into the universe, um, and waiting to see what comes out. And something, so some new thing always comes out. And it's not about me defining myself. It's more about refining or reimagining or understanding myself. I don't know. Anyway, so this embodied presence, this this podcast is my trademark of this phrase, so that when the whole world speaks it, I don't think I'm the first person, first of all, and I won't be the last, second of all. So this is a joke. If you don't get it, I'm sorry. But when the whole world is having embodied presence and is asking themselves and I did it on different colored papers also, like that was on purpose because I was like, it can be anything. Like you can ask yourself, there's infinite questions you could ask yourself that would bring you into the wisdom of the body. And why am I always like harassing the wisdom of the body? I don't think that's the only wisdom around, but we are in a human body. I think there's a big reason for that. I think it's a great place to start. Um, and the interesting thing is all my time in meditation has taught me the wisdom of being in the body, right? It's not taught me to try to escape the body, but like being in present in the body is the gateway, is the gateway, is the gateway, is the gateway. It's the biggest, your body is the biggest thing, right? I mean, well, I don't know. I'm not going to get into, there's so many things we can get into. Let's just say your body is an enormous gateway, into the whole universe. So there it is, embodied presence. You know, maybe you don't have, I'm not even showing this to you, so you have to do it. I just want to explain it so someone besides me understands what I'm talking about. And maybe goes, I get it. Maybe goes, not for me. you know, I don't know. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that nobody seems to get what I'm talking about. And to me, it seems so, like, literally logical. It's a gateway. It's a gateway to so much wisdom. And the thing is it doesn't, these don't take me into like, when I ask myself, these types of questions, I don't just end up in my life. They don't lead me to like a moment of time in my life. They lead me to like some universal experience or perspective or wisdom or I don't know. But they're not meant to, just hone in. And they might, there might be a time where they do lead me to a very specific thing. And I guess I should say there was a time when they did, right? There were many times where I was always led to the rape, that was like, until I finally I don't even know how I finally dealt with it, but until that was fully dealt with in my body, that's usually where I ended up. Or I would end up in like families, family dynamics. I would end up there a lot, or I would end up in dynamics with men, would end up there a lot. And I would say that seems to be kind of where it is now. A lot of them lead me to this masculine feminine dynamic. So I wouldn't even say it's male. I wouldn't even say it's men and women. I would say it's male and female. And just understanding their roles that they play, energetically, the roles they play societally, the roles they play uh, culturally, the roles financially. But I mean, I don't want to get into it. I just want to stick with this. Embodied presence. How is your body feeling? Can you identify a new sensation? What does your body need right now? How old are you right now? That's really been an interesting one. Where is your body in space and in time? That's a big one. That's it. When you're able to answer that for yourself, it's fascinating. What is your body saying? And these beautiful things make up this great thing I call embodied presence. Embodied presence. So give it a try if you want. Don't if you don't. But it's out there now in case anyone wants to try to understand what it is and how to do it. And the thing is I don't have the answer. You are your answer. And that is what makes it so incredibly dynamic and amazing. And it's been interesting how much resistance there's been to that. So there you go. Short and sweet. Have a beautiful day.